In the worst rainstorm in 50 years, I stood guard over a pond of premium blue lobsters worth 12 million yuan. But to keep the main dam from breaching, I had no choice but to order the farm pond's levee blown open, sacrificing the lobsters to save the dam. Then the contractor's spoiled rich son lost it, charged at me, and kicked me to the ground. 12 million! This whole pond is worth 12 million. You want me to blow it up? You broke loser, can you even pay for that? He didn't just fire me on the spot as flood control technical director, he also had his thugs lock me inside the lower engine room of an abandoned drainage station. Then he personally directed a heavy excavator to forcefully plug the piping leak already gushing muddy yellow water. Watching his arrogant suicidal face, I didn't argue or fight. I simply signed the dismissal notice without hesitation. Because as an old levee hand who had spent 22 years on dams, I knew one thing very clearly. Facing a terrifying flood peak already 3.5 meters above the warning level, that completely hollowed out foundation had, at most, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Zhang, we're about to get rich. Look at what's in this trawl net. This density, this whole pond of blue lobsters. These are top grade sizes you might not see once in 10 years. Outside Bishan Lake, the rain was pouring so hard it felt like someone had flipped an entire lake out of the sky. Raindrops the size of beans hammered our raincoats, and every breath came heavy with water vapor. On the number 7 auxiliary flood control dam, more than a dozen high-powered pumps roared like crazy, making the concrete under our feet tremble. Blinding searchlights tore through the rain as dozens of workers in orange raincoats fought to pull up cages and trawl nets. Good lord, this one has to be over £1, right? The last half-pound batch sold for 80 yuan a pound. These have to be worth 3 times that. No kidding. Zhang said this water was perfect for raising blue lobsters, and he was right. One net alone had at least 2,000 pounds. Every haul came up full of premium stock. Those big Australian blue lobsters and claw-snapping hairy crabs sent the workers into earth-shaking cheers. Their hands moved even faster. Beside the main control gate, inside a temporary shelter, a young man in an insanely expensive custom Arc'teryx shell, his hair slicked with waterproof wax, held a steaming cup of fresh ground coffee and laughed like he owned the world. His name was Sun Haoyu, the only son of the owner of Sun Construction, the biggest local contractor. This 600-acre super aquaculture base, built by fencing off land directly against the Bishan Lake flood control levee, was his first big project after returning from overseas. It sat in a reclaimed lowland downstream from the main dam. The number 7 auxiliary dam was both the main section holding back Bishan Lake's floodwater and the natural northern embankment of the farming pond. On paper, he was the base's general manager. In reality, he was a spoiled rich kid who knew nothing and only cared about the numbers on the ledger. Over 12 million. Just this emergency harvest alone was worth more than 12 million. See that? That's called money pouring in. Once this batch is all pulled up, I'm flying out tomorrow to pick up that limited edition G-Wagon. He glanced around at the workers in the shelter and curled his lip. Not bad. Once the shipment's loaded onto the refrigerated trucks, I'll personally reward you mud-caked workers with a carton of Huazi each. Thank you, Mr. Sun. Several supervisors who had worked under Sun Construction for years immediately laughed and played along. But hardly any real workers in the shelter answered. I stood less than 10 feet from him, soaked head to toe, my pant legs caked with mud, and paid no attention to his arrogance. Instead, I stared hard at the water pressure calculator in my hand. The red numbers flashing on the screen stabbed at my eyes like needles. Just moments earlier, the underground seepage line reading had shot up in a bizarre cliff-like surge, jumping straight from safe levels past the yellow warning line and still rushing toward the red zone. Without even looking up, I called out, "Joe, get over here!" Old Joe ran over at once. The second he saw the